friends. Welcome to the LeggLife podcast. My name is Adam.
My name is Sherry.
Sherry Beth, what episode is this?
143.
I want to set the scene for all of you listening so you can kind of picture what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. It is Friday evening, about 7:30 p.m. Sherry and I are in our studio here in our home.
I'm in my jammies. Sherry's
in her jammies. I am in... Not my jammies, like jeans and a flannel. I look like I'm ready for a meeting. Sherry looks like she just woke up from a nap. We've each got a cup of tea in front of us. Mm-hmm. I am drinking an orange ginger tea.
Orange ginger mint.
Mm-hmm. That is delightful. Sherry, what are you drinking?
Blueberry lavender.
I thought you were just going to say pure whiskey. Straight liquor.
Blueberry lavender. It's very yummy.
And you guys, we're going to try to not slurp or sip too much in this episode.
But we might. So if you hear a sorry about that.
It's just the tea. We don't normally drink tea when we record podcasts, but tonight we were just feeling a little bit cozy.
Yep. And our friend Sandy sent us a whole tin.
Shout out Sandy Carter.
Sent us a whole tin of Republic of Tea. Is that right?
It is right.
Like a whole tin of different kinds of teas. And so we've been making our way through it. This is my second one today, different kind.
I've got to say, so far, it's amazing.
I have yet to come across a bad one.
Yeah, it says a lot.
Yep. I have a few favorites already that I'm taking pictures of so that I can maybe try to buy like a whole pack of that specific kind.
Of the ones you like?
Of the ones that I really, really like.
That's
but
a really
I haven't come across a bad one yet. And this whole tin is just amazing.
And it works out pretty well because you and I have different kind of like things that we like in tea. You're not a big ginger fan.
Right.
I love ginger, so I'm getting all the ginger teas.
I love the chamomiles,
I think it's pronounced chamomile.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I also love black tea.
You do?
And there's a lot of different kinds of black tea in there. So, yep, I'm a fan.
Some of you right now are like, what the hell is this episode about?
Not tea.
Welcome to the tea episode, everybody.
We're talking about all of our favorite kinds of tea.
Speaking of tea, I want to know, before we get into this week's episode, how many of you remember Sherry and my very first foray into, did I use that word right? Into podcasting? Foray?
Oh, yep.
It was a podcast called Spill the Teacups. Mm-hmm. It was like a Disney news and gossip podcast that I think we did
two
or three episodes.
And then we realized we didn't actually care enough about the Disney tea to do an entire podcast.
We got 3 episodes in and we thought like, I'm kind of over it already. It is one of the reasons that I think we are so surprised that we have done 143 episodes on our LeggLife podcast.
Yep.
Because previously we did 3.
Well, but here's the thing. I think that we niched ourselves into a corner.
Oh, I totally agree.
And so just the LeggLife podcast, we can talk whatever the hell we want about.
We sure can.
It's just... And so that's fun.
And I got to say, before we jump into the topic, last thing I promise, you guys are so freaking supportive.
Yeah.
We have almost had 120,000 people listen to, or 120,000 listens to the LeggLife podcast since we started.
Whoa.
Which is crazy. Mm-hmm. And many of you listen on lots of different platforms. Most of you listen on Apple or Spotify. Some of you listen on iHeartRadio or Amazon Music. And a number of you listen on YouTube. Mm-hmm. The LeggLife podcast has its own YouTube channel, and 992 subscribers on the LeggLife YouTube channel for the LeggLife podcast.
Yeah.
So here's what I want you to do. We normally talk about this at the end. I'm going to talk about it at the beginning to see if we can get 8 of you this week.
8. Can
we break 1,000 subscribers on the LeggLife podcast YouTube channel? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Even if you listen on Apple, even if you listen on Amazon, would you go to LeggLife podcast on YouTube and hit the little subscribe button so that we can break 1,000 subscribers this week?
Yep, that'd be great.
It would be super cool. Okay. Nothing we have talked about is related to what we were talking about today.
Not one damn thing.
Not one damn thing. But here's the thing.
I came up with this idea.
You did.
I don't usually come up with the podcast ideas.
Sherry's like, what are we talking about today? Normally. But today this was yours, and I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
So this next week, obviously, Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving.
Thank you for that clarification. We have a lot of people who listen around the world. And so we thought that we would have a conversation just about Thanksgiving traditions, memories that we have from growing up, kind of what are some of our favorite Thanksgiving thoughts are. And so that's what we're going to do. This one's going to be all about Thanksgiving. We're going to give you a little peek into our Thanksgiving traditions as well as ones that we have experienced throughout our life.
Yeah.
Sherry Beth?
Yeah.
You want to start? Ladies first. So let me hear, what was Thanksgiving like growing up in the Amstutz house? Tell me some of your traditions, and I'll ask all sorts of follow-up questions.
Okay. It varied.
Okay.
Depending on which side of the family we were spending it with. So most of my dad's side of the family was in Indiana. We had some in Michigan and Kentucky.
Yep.
That they would usually come to our grandparents' house or one of the aunts or uncles kind of midway
Okay.
in Indiana. So the people from Michigan would come down, the people from Kentucky would come up for my dad's side of the family. For my mom's side of the family, most of them are in Michigan.
Yep.
And so we would go there usually.
So was Thanksgiving, real quick, was Thanksgiving normally larger gatherings? It wasn't just you, your mom, dad, brother, and sister. It was normally like extended family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So if we went to our my mom's side of the family in Michigan, it was usually at my grandparents' house and or my aunt's house. She had a fantastic like toboggan hill.
Oh.
So we would do Christmas there a lot, but we would do Thanksgivings. And then the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, we would go shopping. The women's would go shopping.
Oh, okay.
The men's would usually stay behind, with the exception of my grandpa. He was our chauffeur. He was our Sherpa. He would carry all of our stuff.
It's a good man.
He was a good man. I don't remember him ever not smiling.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. So that was always fun. And then with my dad's side of the family, we would, I actually texted my cousin Abby to like verify this because my memory is like crap. But I think that we would do like the Amstutz kind of almost like family reunion, like everybody would gather, and then I think that we would do like Christmas as well.
Oh, kind of combine the two.
Yep, combine the two. So we would do like a Thanksgiving meal, and then we would do like a gift exchange. So I think.
So walk me through Thanksgiving days, and obviously it changes depending on family. There's some families who do Thanksgiving dinner early in the day. It's like brunch. Some people do it later in the day, like a dinner or a supper. What was Thanksgiving for you normally?
It was usually kind of like the middle of the day meal.
Okay.
Because we would watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Okay. Was this like in every year or normally?
Normally every year.
Okay.
And football was in the afternoon.
Naturally.
Obviously. And so we would do kind of a midday meal. And with both sides of the family, but really, I think mostly my dad's side of the family, there were almost always more desserts than like entree foods.
Oh, interesting.
We always had like an apple pie. We always had a pumpkin pie. I feel like we always had like a cherry pie. We always had sugar cream pie.
I knew you were going to say it. In fact, I think I remember there was an episode that we recorded when Abby was up here visiting us. And I believe we talked about
the sugar cream pie.
No, we talked about the dessert table.
Oh, yeah.
Like the dessert table being like longer than the actual food table.
There were always cookies. There was always cake. There was like it was hilarious. Yeah.
Were you guys a Thanksgiving turkey, ham, both? Were very traditional with your Thanksgiving
Pretty
food?
traditional. Yeah, turkey and green bean casserole and mashed potatoes and corn and my great grandma when she was alive would always make her own like the gherkin pickles.
Oh, yeah.
And they were amazing.
Yeah.
So we always had a dish of those. Yeah, like it was always great. It was always kind of a potluck. Everybody would bring something.
So you have good memories of Thanksgivings growing up.
Yeah. Yummy
Would
memories.
you guys ever do like, now we're going to go around the room and everybody's going to share something you're thankful for? Do you remember that or not really?
Not really. The adults might have. I don't remember if they included the children's.
Did you guys have a kids table?
Absolutely, we did. Yep.
Okay.
I had, especially on my dad's side of the family, a lot of cousins. I have a lot of cousins on my mom's side, but my mom is the youngest by quite a few years. And so us three kids were way younger than the rest of my cousins. And so they were always just adults, really. I mean, they were adults when we were born. So we didn't really have much of a kids table then, but we had, with my dad's side of the family, tons of cousins. So we had a lot of children?
I think for me, my memories aren't actually that different. I don't, we didn't divide it up. My parents got divorced when I was like 7, I think. And so it's not like, oh, we went to, dad's family's one year, mom the other. Most of my Thanksgiving memories are with my mom. In fact, I think my favorite memory when I think of Thanksgiving, I don't have memories of always waking up and watching the Thanksgiving parade. I'd see snippets of it, but I don't remember that being like in every year we've got to watch this. I don't remember every year watching football. Some years I did, maybe years that I was with dad probably did more of that kind of thing. The thing I remember about
Your mom wouldn't just want to sit down and watch a football game?
Shockingly, mom did not want to sit down and watch a football game on Thanksgiving. But here's the reason why. And I love this. This is actually my favorite Thanksgiving memory. I remember our house on Thanksgiving was never just me and mom or dad or my brother or like family. I feel like what my mom did on Thanksgiving was basically gather the most ragtag community of people who needed family and community and a safe space and food on Thanksgiving. Like, you never knew who was showing up to Thanksgiving dinner. It could be like, oh, mom met this lady in the grocery store checkout line 20 minutes ago, and now she's here at our table. Or it was people that's like, gosh, I haven't seen this person in years, and they just happen to be in town, so of course, like, they're here. There was just, I felt like my mom always created this space of safe community, and everybody was welcome at our table. And I just so appreciate that, because when I look back, I remember my mom's stuffing. I remember turkey. I remember, her making the gravy in her cast iron skillet on the stove. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of good memories, but the main memory that I have is just this. My mom for Thanksgiving cast a really wide net.
I do remember that, especially
because you got to experience some of that.
I have very vivid memories of my first Thanksgiving up here.
Yeah.
Because it was the first Thanksgiving away from my family.
What was that like?
It was weird. Just because it was the first time away from my family.
Because your whole life you'd done Thanksgiving
years.
kind of like just a couple ways.
Yep. But I do remember just kind of this ragtag group of people that was just fun. It was a great gathering.
It's like, wait, who's this person? How do you know them? Wait, who's this person? How do you know them? Wait, who is this person? How do you know them?
Right.
And some of the people, like, I would never have met before.
Right.
Like, I had no clue who this person was.
And I do remember talking about that, like, when you and I were on our way to your mom's house. Like, I was like, okay, so who's going to be there? Like, prep me. Like, who do I need to know? And you were like, I have no idea.
Literally no clue. I can't prep you.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, I can't prep you because we'll see when we get there. And halfway through dinner, a whole nother group of people may show up.
Yep.
But that's just always the way that it was.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
that.
I love that too. I actually I appreciate that because I just feel like it was I don't know, for me, mom just kept extending the table, which is what I think is one of the like core values of Thanksgiving, right? So yeah, my memories of Thanksgiving are really, really good. Now, you and I have, well, we don't have a Thanksgiving tradition. Let's be very honest.
I was just going to say, we have been all over the place in the 21 years of us being together.
Have you enjoyed that, or do you wish we had more of a tradition?
Both and.
Okay, talk about that.
Because I did grow up with tradition, and we did really one of two things, with very few strays from that.
Yep.
And I think that there is something nice about that. But I also have enjoyed, we've done Friendsgivings with like different groups of friends across the years. We've done, family Thanksgivings at your mom's house or your dad's house or our house, or, we've just, we've catered, we've had it catered before.
Yeah.
We've gone out to dinners for Thanksgiving. We've kind of been all over the board, which I do think is kind of fun as well. I think it's a fun way to experience different Thanksgivings.
Yeah. I remember a Thanksgiving not that many years ago where we had like 3 dinners in one day.
Yeah.
And it was like we had like the kind of the noon Thanksgiving with one group of friends, like a 3 p.m. Thanksgiving with another group of friends, and then like a 6 p.m. Thanksgiving, I think, with like my dad and Susan.
Yeah, and I remember like trying to pace ourselves.
Yeah, because we still have like,
because we had 3 Thanksgiving meals to get through, and it not working because every meal we went to had amazing food, and it was just like I have to try a little bit of everything, and then it was like, well, I just ate my body weight in one meal, I have 2 more to eat.
I think that one day I probably put down a solid 75 or 80 deviled eggs. I just remember all day long eating deviled eggs at every location. So for me, I kind of liked the way that we approach Thanksgiving. Every year we get to kind of ask the question, so what do we want to do this year? And what do we need this year?
Yeah.
I think this year's a good example. You know, we just had a big work event for me. We've had a lot of stuff going on in life.
Kind of a stressful year.
And when we were thinking about Thanksgiving this year, it, first of all, kind of snuck up on us a little bit because we've just been so busy.
Which is funny because I feel like it's a week later than usual. I feel like it's really late this year, but I also just feel like, it's here.
Quick, it's here.
Help.
And so, you know, for us, it was like, well, do we want to go like over to friends, like big Thanksgiving, big Friendsgiving? Do we want to have things here? And as we talked about it, it was kind of like, you know, let's just do what we did last year, which was go out to a restaurant, just the 2 of us. We can cook some Thanksgiving food here so we have some leftovers, but let's like not spend all day in the kitchen. We're already pretty exhausted. Let's not go to a place where there's going to be lots of people, like, you know, that you have to interact with. And so this year we're going out to dinner again for Thanksgiving, which is so foreign. Like, can you imagine doing that growing up?
Like just
being like, hey, just so you know, we're not doing Thanksgiving dinner at home. We're going to a restaurant.
Right. Yeah. No, that never.
So foreign.
Happened. Right.
Right. And I like that every year we get to sort of come up with what we like want to do.
Yep, I agree. And based on how the year has been, we can do it really big or we can do it really small, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I think a small Thanksgiving this year is just what we need.
It's definitely what we need. Look, without question, it's what we need. Other Thanksgiving memories. You had mentioned Black Friday earlier, talked about your grandpa. I want to talk a little bit about like one of our Black Friday, because this was one of the few traditions we did have for a long time.
For years with the same group of friends.
We would. So let me explain.
Early in our marriage.
Early in our marriage, we had this community that was just like, we were with each other all of the time. And we would do Thanksgiving. It was always kind of our last Thanksgiving of the year or of the day. And we would bring the newspaper that had all the Black Friday sale ads, and we would spread all the sale ads out in the middle of the living room. And as a group, we would all go through them and plan the attack.
Yep.
And this was before stores were opening on Thanksgiving, which I have like some issues with.
Right. There were no pre-Thanksgiving sales. There were no online sales. Right. It was you're standing in line at doors 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's right, because doors open at 4 or 5.
Yep.
And so we would do that. And you guys, this is Alaska. There were some mornings that it was below 0, and we're standing outside
for
hours with friends because we wanted to save $60 on a wine cooler. Like, why? It makes no sense looking back on it.
Which then Adam had to carry above his head because it was so crowded.
The store was so busy. I had to carry this wine cooler above my head through Best Buy.
Snaking through the line because the line went through the entire store.
But
it was hilarious.
I love those memories.
I do too.
They're some of the best.
Fun. And when Jana and I went to try to find coffee, like anywhere that was open, I was like, how is there nothing open? I understand that it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but like there's thousands of people out right now. Yeah. Why is there no coffee? And we took probably an hour to try to find coffee and never did. Yep. So we just got back in line, and the coffee shop like in the mall that we were waiting to get into was open once we got into the mall.
But I feel like Black Friday was for so long such like a part of Thanksgiving, like the prep, the sale ads, all of that.
And then we'd go out for breakfast afterwards.
And then we'd go home and crash.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And I just feel like that's changed with online shopping and stores opening on Thanksgiving.
And the day before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Yeah, it kind of took all the fun out of it.
I've been seeing online Black Friday ads for like a week.
Yeah.
They're like, Black Friday sale going on now. I'm like, you guys, it's a week away.
Right.
How is it going on now? We're not even
This
to
is
the
not
day.
a Black Friday sale. This is a middle of November sale. Call it what it is.
Yeah, and so I just feel like I miss that.
I do too. It was so much fun. Although I don't know that my old ass body could handle staying up all night and like standing out in line at minus 10 degrees.
Here's the thing. Mine 100% could, and I would do it in a second. Like with or without you, as you two would say, I would be there. We still go Black Friday shopping, but we normally like sleep in, and it's like, well, whatever the store still has at 11, like maybe we'll
When
buy.
we saunter in.
Yeah, exactly right. All of the doorbusters are gone. They should have noon busters for people who sleep in.
I agree.
Like, fine, have your doorbusters at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Give us some
You're
noon
having your
busters.
sales on the frickin' like 7th of November. You can't tell me you can't do like a noon buster.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But I do remember for a long time, like Black Friday, for you and I, was a part of our Thanksgiving tradition.
For years. Yeah.
Here in Anchorage, the day after Thanksgiving is when we always light the community Christmas tree, or the day after on Friday or on Saturday. I think it's moved some. So we've done that. But Thanksgiving to me has always been about the food, yes, about the community, yes, but it's sort of like all of that combined.
Yep.
You know, it's
I
not
agree.
It's not just about a turkey. It's, you know, because if you have a turkey just to eat by yourself, like you're missing part of it. It's about the people you're sharing your table with.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that when I think about Thanksgivings for the rest of our lives, one of the things I would love to see, and I don't know how we do this. I actually have an idea with a new space we're going to have soon. I would love to see more what I got to experience growing up, where there's space at the table for everyone and you just don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
You know, we have an 1,100 square foot townhome and we have room at our table for like 6, you know? And so like, it's hard to do here.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I have missed about Thanksgivings is just that, that community, everybody is there, even people that you've never seen before.
Yep.
I'd love to figure out a way to do that.
I would too. I think that'd be fun.
I think so too, Sherry Beth. Any other Thanksgiving, Black Friday thoughts for this time of the year?
I don't know. There is a part of me, and I know you hate it. There's a part of me that does miss the sugar cream pie for Thanksgiving. It was at every family gathering, and it's basically just like a vanilla custard pie, and I love it. So there is a part of me that does kind of miss that, although I do love me a good Costco pumpkin pie.
First of all, that Costco pumpkin pie is the best deal on any pie of all time.
Absolutely.
It's 836 square feet for like $5.99. Didn't we try to make a sugar cream pie for Vlogmas one year?
Did we?
I think we did. I feel like we tried to make one year.
I'm feeling like we probably failed.
And I actually think that it was a failure. Yep.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I would want to try to make. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other like favorite foods?
No, in fact, I saw something on TikTok the other day, maybe it was even earlier today or yesterday, that I could not have agreed with more. He was talking about how Thanksgiving is a holiday. It's all about the side dishes. Because here's the thing. On my plate for Thanksgiving,
it's very little turkey.
No, the least if I was to remove one thing off my plate, take the turkey away. I do not need a main meat for Thanksgiving.
I would agree with that.
Give me mashed potatoes and gravy. Don't be inappropriate. Give me deviled eggs. Give me green bean casserole. Give me the stuffing. Give me like all of the other food.
The non-gross canned cranberry sauce. I want the fresh cranberry sauce.
Here's the thing. I love all cranberry sauce.
Gross.
I've never met a cranberry sauce I don't like. I'm very inclusive when it comes to the berries. It's like I could fill a plate with only side dishes and not miss the turkey or the ham or whatever it is at all.
I think I would agree with that. I do love the dark meat turkey because I feel like it's a little juicier and has a little more flavor. I do feel like the white meat turkey tends to be dry. Very rarely is it not.
Yeah.
So I would agree. If I had to give up one thing on my Thanksgiving plate, it would be the turkey.
Isn't that funny? And then the turkey is like the centerpiece.
Supposed to be like the main thing, but
absolutely not. No, I want all of the other stuff.
I agree.
In fact, if all I had were
good buttered corn,
if all I had were deviled eggs, that's all I need. Give me like literally just a plate full of deviled eggs.
You know, we can make those super easy here.
And that's one of the
We
things.
have hard-boiled eggs.
You know what? Maybe after this podcast, we're going to make deviled eggs. Sounds pretty delicious. So, friends, here's what we want to know. You've heard about our Thanksgivings. We've talked about our traditions. We've talked about the things about Thanksgiving that we love, some of our favorite memories. Now, we want to hear from you. So the way you do this, you're going to head over to YouTube, search LeggLife Podcast, find this Thanksgiving Memories episode.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button, as we talked about earlier. And in the comments of this video, I want to hear from you. Favorite Thanksgiving memory, favorite Thanksgiving food. Do you agree with us that Thanksgiving is more about the sides than the main? Would you give up the turkey to have space on your plate for more deviled eggs or more whatever, stuffing? And here's the thing. We didn't even get into the stuffing debate.
Oh, that's true.
Like, some of y'all be putting sausage and apples in your stuffing. Some of you guys, like my mom, are putting, like, walnuts in your stuffing. Some of you, like Sherry and I, are just purists. Stovetop stuffing.
Heck yes.
Oh, why is stovetop so good?
So I grew up with two different kinds. So we had the dressing, which is outside the turkey.
And the stuffing, which is in the butt.
Stuffing, which is inside the turkey and cooked inside the turkey. We always had both dishes. And yeah, I mean, there's some yumminess from the actual stuffing that comes out of the turkey. Because all those little drippings.
That's fine, but here's the thing. I'll put stovetop stuffing up against it any day.
I would too, honestly.
It's so delicious.
It's so good, and I love to just throw it on the stove with some water.
Water and butter in 5 minutes, and it's done.
So good.
It's so good. Well, Sherry, my tea is done.
Uh-oh.
And that means the podcast is done.
Oh, mine's only half gone. We can keep going.
You guys, my tea is done. The podcast is done. So, again, we want to hear from you. Let us know your Thanksgiving thoughts. And Sherry and I hope you guys have a really great Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
If you celebrate it.
If you celebrate it, that's exactly right. And if you don't, go buy a box of stovetop and just eat that, and it'll make you happy. You'll be thankful.
That'd be great.
Or 100 deviled eggs. You guys, we love you so much. We'll see you next week on the LeggLife Podcast. Bye.
Bye.